Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the East Lyme Board of Selectmen meeting of August 6th. This is to follow immediately after our scheduled town meeting. I understand we've already pledged allegiance to our flag. An additional agenda and consent calendar items. You have heard Attorney Collins's comments with regard to the proposed purchase of the Bayruther property in the town meeting. And for those of you who weren't at the town meeting, there was a paperwork glitch that the $100,000 grant from the state was coming from the bond that was set aside previously to fund $2 million for the Oswegatchie Hill purposes. And as this is in that area, we felt it appropriate. Mr. Jutilla helped us get that grant. And then when we set this up, we set it up as being a land purchase from the Friends, and then transfer over to the town for the small number, but the grant from the state won't transfer that way. It has to come to the town. So the reason we couldn't do that is because of the advertising and the money appropriation. So I have the opportunity before you this evening, if you want to add this onto the agenda, or if you felt we need more time, we can put it on the September 3rd agenda. But the money is the same. It would be an appropriation in the amount of $280,000. $150,000 comes from the Thompson Family Foundation, $100,000 grant from the state of Connecticut. We will put the $25,000 in, and then the balance of $5,000 for the purchase price, or as amended by usual and customary closing costs paid for by the Friends, would make up the rest of the money. So I didn't know if there was a feeling to put this on the agenda. We would have to add it at this point in time, if that's something you wanted to do, or if you felt you needed more time to look at anything, we could do it in September. So
would you suggest 2D on our agenda? Put it after the new business that we already have? Or would you like it? Then I'll make a motion. 2D.
2D is good.
2D.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'll make a motion to add it to our agenda, 2D.
Second?
Motion is made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate so by saying aye.
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 Anyone oppose or abstain? Thank you. That brings any other agenda or consent calendar items?
Yes, under item 3, unfinished business, I'd like to add subsection A, business listing.
Business listing.
There is a 3A
On the amended agenda.
on the amended agenda.
Let's make it
So
3B.
3B. I'll second that.
Motion is made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate
Aye.
so by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any other items? Brings us to delegations. Anyone like to speak to the board under public delegations? Mr. Rando?
I have a couple items. First item on that piece of property down there, you want to appraise it 200 and some thousand. I'd like to know who appraised it, because it's landlocked and it's nothing but ledge down there. I don't think it's worth half what you're paying for it. And I don't think the town should get involved in it. If the Friends of Oswegatchie, or whatever you call it, they want to buy it, let them pay for it. Taxpayers shouldn't have to pay for property. We're not in the real estate business in this town, and we're not in the land business, okay? Number 2, I've been asking for a long time for legal bills for the town. Well, I got some legal bills here. And boy, I'll tell you, it goes from 8/13/208 to 4/8/2013 for $351,836.26. Now, you know where this came from. You probably know what it's for. No, you don't have to tell you. This has been going on, it's still going on, And this is to the 2013. We're into 2014, so it's probably another couple $100,000 already. I, for the love of me, cannot understand why you, Mr. Formica, cannot sit down with these people and negotiate and finish and get this out of the townspeople's hair. It's costing us money that we could use for the taxpayers. And it really upsets me if you blow this kind of money on this and you just keep going on and we're losing all the time. That's a lot of money. That's money that could have helped the taxpayers in this town, give them back something or do something for them. $352,000 almost were given to these lawyers. And they charge you for every damn 5-10 minutes you call them on the phone. It's ridiculous. And I'm going to tell you, today is 8/6/2014. When your boardwalk is done, I'm going to guarantee you're going to have overruns, okay? You blew $20 million in that deal because of the town's screw-up. Now I just want to read you a couple of figures here that I got. I don't want to read you the whole thing because probably bore you, but I just want to tell you something. Our good state of Connecticut. Capital assets, $14,910,445,000. That's the assets in the state of Connecticut. Pretty good, huh? Well, how about liabilities? $75,440, $309,000. Well, I hope if you go to Hartford, you work for the taxpayers and not spend money like you do in the town of East Lyme. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rando. Anyone else like to speak? Ms. Rack?
Good evening, Karen Rack, 27 Black Point Road.
Good evening.
Karen, pull it down.
Oh, sorry about that. Concerning the Bayruther property, I do not believe the town should be involved at all either. The group can fundraise. I think they're very capable of doing that. I don't know what their membership is. I do know they have 14 board members, and there's some sort of, I guess maybe cohesion between them and another group who take turns being, heading it up. So they must have at least 50 to 100 members between the two of them. So my suggestion would be for each member to pony up if it's really important to them, which it seems like it is, and that's what they should do, and that's how it should be taken care of, and the taxpayers should not take care of it. I think as far as what Mr. Randoway just said, I think he was trying to imply, and rightfully so, is that the liabilities of the state of Connecticut are 5 times that of the assets. And you or I could never live like that. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rack. Anyone else? I saw a hand, yes.
It's Lori Matt, and I'm at 20 North Washington Avenue. I am here because as a community and neighborhood, we've been complaining about a house that is in our neighborhood that has no running water. It has no electricity. We've been, taxes for 4 years have not been paid on this property, which is $11,000 to today. I have pictures of the property. I've been dealing with, from Ledgelight, I've been dealing with Katie Baldwin, who unfortunately is, I don't know if she's here, but I feel has not been doing her job. We've been complaining about garbage. We've got people living in the upstairs because the downstairs, you cannot live in the house because there is no floor. So we've got pictures of people coming in and out of the house that are living there. They are peeing and pooping in the backyard. There's garbage all in the backyard. And I did call the state of Connecticut health department because I have nowhere else to turn. And I feel that as a town person who takes a lot of pride in their property and pays their bills and been here my whole life, I find it disgraceful that this is still going on. And this has been going on for 3 years. 3 years we've been filing complaints. 3 years I've been coming to this town. I don't know why it's not condemned. As far as the taxes go, we've been told that it's been going to the town attorney, and that's all we've been hearing. As far as I'm concerned, if we all did not pay our taxes, if we all did not take care of our property, where would East Lyme be today? We're supposed to be the best small town? This is disgraceful, and I'm sorry, if this was in your neighborhood, this would not be happening, and that's how I feel. And I've been doing all the things that I can possibly do, that I was told to do from everybody in this town hall, and spending many hours on it, and nothing has been done. Now we're getting into another cold season, which means now they're going to be using their, what is the heater system that they use? Kerosene, thank you, kerosene heat. So not only is that dangerous, because there's houses right on top of one another, and one of the neighbors is here today to speak about it. There's just, it's disgusting. And I do not understand why Ledge Light is not doing a damn thing about it. And I'm sorry to say, but if nothing gets done, I am going to the news media, because I'm not getting anywhere with this town of East Lyme, and I'm done. Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
have pictures that I'd love to share with you. This is what we're dealing
What's the number again?
with. It's where I live.
No.
No.
It's
this house.
26 Beckwith Avenue. Beckwith Street. Thank you.
26
Five
Beckwith Street.
Five down from the firehouse.
Yep.
Let's move it this way, then move it that way.
Would you like to speak, sir?
George Sahaki, 24 Beckwith, in the house right next door. And just to clarify a couple of things that Laurie mentioned, the person who is staying in the house right now is a squatter. He has no legal right to be in the house. The owner of the house is in a nursing home in Hartford, has been there for about 5 years. I've talked to the people in the nursing home. There's no reason to think that he would, well, first of all, the house is not habitable right now. If he were to come home, he's on Medicaid, and he would need a home health provider, and there's no way that the state would let anyone go into that house. Again, the taxes haven't been paid for 3 or 4 years. I've spoken to the tax collector about twice a year. He keeps saying that he's going to do something. He hasn't done anything for at least 3 years. Same thing, I've also talked to the zoning department, the health department, and the building department, none of which have done anything. We've put formal complaints in. We've got them time-stamped with them and everything else. Being the next-door neighbor, we've seen an increase in, I'll call them critters, for lack of a better word, skunks, mice, that are coming out of that yard. The grass over there now is about chest high, as you can see from the pictures that Laurie took. I have pictures of the squatter, going in and leaving the building. The previous squatter that was in there passed away. There's been all kinds of rumors as to how he died, whether it was drugs or the kerosene heater or what. Nobody seems to know. But I think that the main thing is that you're looking for money. You've got this list of people who haven't paid taxes for 3 or 4 years, and yet you look in the paper and New London's having a tax auction every year. People, whether they pay up or whether they actually go to auction is another thing, but they're getting the money. So it's really an eyesore. And if it was next to the fish market, you'd certainly take some action on it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Cesario?
Hi, John Cesario, 15 Darrows Ridge. I primarily came because I saw our development was on the agenda, but speaking of the attorney's fees, I've submitted a Freedom of Information Act to get updated attorney's fees regarding the lawsuit with our development, and I haven't received any response yet. Just curious what's happening there. As far as the lawsuit, it's a $13 million lawsuit now, and we don't have insurance. That's according to you, Mr. Formica, when you came to our association. In 2008, you settled with the developer, and the town agreed to pay $250,000. Well, that $250,000 is now a $13 million lawsuit, and you've given up our insurance. And Mr. Nickerson, you're a 30-year or plus insurance agent, and you've submitted or put a motion forward to indemnify the insurance company. I believe Attorney Block is here. He recommended that you indemnify the insurance company in settling the case. But what he didn't disclose was 3 months later in federal court, or Sisley or Block, one of them, filed a memorandum of law saying that the town agreed voluntarily to step into the shoes of the insurance carrier. Now, when you settled the case, the insurance case in 2011, you did not notify or let anybody know. So you basically circumvented the Board of Finance. His fees are in excess of, what, $300,000 or $400,000 now? Many of them have been over $20,000. They don't go before the Board of Finance. By assuming the insurance liability, you've completely taken the Board of Finance out of it. The town's not an insurance. The town carries, what, maybe a $20 or $25 million debt? If you lose a suit, $13 million plus interest plus bad faith, you're looking at almost doubling the town debt, and you're silent on it. Nobody in the town knows about it. It's very simple. If I rear end somebody and I'm drunk and I cause damages, I don't tell the insurance company, don't worry about it. We'll take care of the legal fees. We'll take care of all the medical damages, and we'll take care of all the pain and suffering. And that's what you guys did. And I don't mean the whole board. I mean specifically for Micah and Nickerson. And it's funny that you're running now to try to be in state senator right before this is about to go before a jury, just like you're getting out of Dodge. But anyway, I'm here to speak about see what's going on with the Darrows Ridge. And that's another thing. You have Attorney Block, who contradicted your previous attorney and contradicted every single other development when you pull the developer's bond. So I hope you end up doing the curbing. I hope you end up doing everything that the developer was supposed to do. In 2010, Attorney Block represented to a federal judge that he was going to file a deed, prepare a deed for Masterway, to do the Masterway improvements. Masterway, the town has said it's a hazard, and the developer agreed to donate the land, because the town asked him. He said, I'll donate the land, no charge. And yet, it's still not done. Now, when you came to, Mr. Formica, when you came to our development, you brought Gary Geschel with you. And Gary Geschel spent like 15 or 20 minutes saying that the developer didn't provide the Mylar. And if the Mylar was provided on Masterway, he would sign it in a heartbeat. Well, I have a transcript right here from his deposition of 2011 where he did get the Mylar. The developer brought the Mylar in 2008 as soon as the compromise agreement. So, I mean, you're going to lose the lawsuit. It's just a matter of how much. So, and you guys remain silent, all of you. And I know you're all not complicit. You know, it's primarily for Micah and Nickerson. But this is the town. You only have $25 million in debt. Your financial statements are fraud. It says that we have insurance coverage for every single case. And that's not the case, unless you're considering yourself an insurance company now. That's all I have to say on this matter.
Thank you, Mr. Cesario. Anyone else like to speak before the board? Yes, I can't see who you are, but please come on.
I'm Gail Barton, and 22A Beckwith Street, and I'm here also about the property at 26 Beckwith Street, here to support George and Lori. I have also made complaints to the town on this property. I have never even got a response from anybody from my with regards to my complaints. Both 3 years ago and then this May, I've also made another complaint. We feel like we're getting nowhere. We really want the board to realize that this problem is not going away. It's getting worse and worse every year. And the other thing you need to be aware of is we're not going away. We're going to see something happen here. As residents of this street, we can't go on this. I was really appalled when I heard that somebody came to inspect the property over there, and that they said they couldn't smell urine in the backyard, and that we had to take a picture of somebody peeing out of the upstairs window in order for them to try to do anything. I mean, that's just gross. I feel like Lori, I really don't want to have to take this to a news media. I think the town has got so many good press going on, and I don't want to bring negativity to the town, but I'm hoping that is not a recourse that I'm going to have to take, because we have to get something done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Connie Howard. I live at 24 Beckwith Street, and the house next to this house, 26 that we're talking about, I rent the house from my parents. George Chahaki spoke earlier, and just want to say I've witnessed, unfortunately, the man urinating out of the second floor of the house early in the morning. And no, I wasn't about to run in and grab my camera because it's quite disgusting, and and frightening, to be honest. I live there by myself. The only comfort is that the fire station is a couple, houses down, but I don't feel very safe not knowing who this man is. And I hear him stumble and fall and groan and try and get himself up. He comes home every night, then clanking around in the house and then sneezing for a long period of time, because who can only imagine what it looks and smells like in there when we see exactly what, it's just absolute disgrace outside of the house. There's been, in the last couple weeks, just a huge increase in like they were saying, rodents and critters and flies. We can barely eat outside now. My neighbors and I were discussing how many just flies have come and are swarming around in the area. So I really hope that we can have something taken care of. I'd appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes.
I have one more thing to add to this. The thing that I just don't understand about this is that nobody's even supposed to be living in this house. And how come this person is living there? 3 years ago, there was a family, a little boy who was about 5 years old, and I was out working in my garden in the back. And I offered him raspberries because I had him along the fence. And he wanted to talk to me, and the gentleman that was with him grabbed him to, stay away. And that's when I started investigating who is this little boy, that he was so dirty that I wasn't sure if he was Hispanic or not. And I called DCF, and I got that child removed from that house. And the thing that I just don't understand about this whole thing is, how can somebody be living in a house that doesn't have any running water, that doesn't even have electricity? I mean, that right there is a health issue in itself, but they don't even have permission to live there. And the guy works at Burke's Tavern. So to me, he's got a job. There's no reason for him to be hanging out around this house. And just like Connie was saying, it's very, very scary to have this, okay? I see it out my back window. When I'm in the wintertime, I can see it, all the lights on from the kerosene heater and candles. It's got to stop. And I don't know what we can do. But that's why we're frustrated. We're here today in hopes that you people can help us, because something needs to be done. If you can just explain to me how this is even going on, because I don't understand how somebody can just go live in a property that they're not even allowed to be in. The police aren't even doing anything about it. What is the answer? Do you have an answer for me that you can give me, Paul, why this gentleman has not been removed from the property?
Well, according to FOI, I'm not allowed to respond, or we're not allowed to respond during public delegations.
I
But as soon as
understand.
public delegations are over, I will make a statement.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Mr. Cesario, are you waving to me, or would you like to speak?
No, I'd like to speak. You know, it's, Mr. Nickerson might be the next first selectman, right? And you got a big
Oh,
smirk.
chance.
You got a big smirk on your face. Maybe I should read some of your deposition into the record where you pretended not to know what the word indemnify means. You're an insurance agent. Or after, or ending saying you want another $50 to come back to do a deposition, when you put forward a motion that's going to cost the taxpayers 10 million, 5 million, 20 million, and you're an insurance agent, and you just act like you smug, like you don't care. Yet, if somebody has a $10,000 claim, you're on your, you have all your comments, but yet you put forward a motion that the board ratified to indemnify an insurance company. Do you know what the word indemnify means? I know you can't answer me, but it means you are assuming all of the liability. Block filed a motion saying, an answer to the court, saying that the town agrees voluntarily to step into the insurance company's shoes for all the legal fees and potential damages, not just of the original claim, but of all the future claims. And now there's 3 different claims, totaling $13 million with no insurance. There's not a town in the country that has done what you guys have done.
Thank you, Mr. Cesario. Anyone else? Mr. Rando?
You need my name again, dear? I'd just like to speak on behalf of these young ladies and gentlemen on that problem over there. You know, if we got a fruit stand or something that wants to go up in town, Jesus Christ, the people downstairs are all over the guy. We want to put a business in town, they fight him. Here's people who live next door to a trash bin, and they've been trying to get it cleaned up. Well, I recommended to the young ladies, if you can't get any help from the town of East Lyme, to call Channel 8. They'll come down and they'll get some action for you. I mean, you don't have to live like that. If it's something that's been going on for quite a while, somebody should be held accountable and it should be cleaned up as soon as possible.
Thank you, Mr. Rando. Anyone else like to speak on the public delegation? All right, hearing none, before we get to the next item, I don't know what's worse, the fact that I did not know about this situation or the fact that my staff did not respond to the situation. So I can assure you all that tomorrow there'll be some action on this situation and accept my humble apology on behalf of the town for any inaction if you've gotten into closed doors as a result of this. But I don't think the town council has heard of this issue. So, there's no excuse. I take full responsibility as leader of the town. It's on me that my staff didn't respond or that I didn't know about. I should know about something like this. So please accept my personal apology, and I will act on this tomorrow.
Am I allowed to talk to you?
We'd have to open it back up.
You closed it.
We closed delegations. If you like, my phone number is 6914106. That's my direct office line. If you want, I can have Karen give you my cell phone, and you can call me later on if you like. And I'm happy to talk. I don't have your information. If you want to leave a number or something that I can call tomorrow, or if we get out early enough, which I don't know that we will, later tonight. So, but again, my apologies. This is on me because I'm sitting here. So, okay. Next item then would be the approval of minutes of the public hearing of July 2nd, 2014.
I'll move to approve the minutes of the public hearing of July 2nd, 2014.